texting a girl. It would seem that there is nothing complicated about it. Just reply to her messages, trying not to be bored with you, and that's it. But it is here. There are many critical errors that will kill all your efforts. As a result, you will be at best in the friend zone, and at worst in the blacklist. And it does not matter how long you started communicating. Just met, a long time dating, or even married, or you are trying to get back an ex-girlfriend or wife after a breakup. In this episode, I will name the main mistakes in texting with a girl, which most men make, and which you probably made. And one of these mistakes men make, following the advice of experienced psychologists, and you will also learn about it further. But first, I will tell one effective technique that allows you to analyze the state of the girl at the time of texting and understand what she wants from you. In other words, to understand the hidden meaning of her messages. So, there is the text itself which she writes to you. But it's not just a text message. It has an emotional message and a logical message. What is the emotional message? It's the state of the girl at the moment of texting. The logical message is what she wants from you. A simple example. You wrote her a big message with a funny story, in your opinion, and she responded with a simple emoticon an hour later. Many men think that this cheered up the girl, and the long reply is because she doesn't have much time. But that's not the case. The emotional message of this message is, I'm bored. Logical. I do not want to continue chatting at the moment because I am very busy and you are not particularly interesting to me. Accordingly, the hidden meaning of this message is that the girl does not want to communicate with you, and you need to stop. The second example. She is the first to send you huge messages about how bad she feels, even writes that she misses you. And a lot of people, again, take this as sympathy towards yourself, but it's not, because the emotional message of this message is, I feel bad. The logical message is that you are acting as a girlfriend or personal psychologist. Accordingly, the hidden meaning of this message is that she needs to communicate with you to talk. You are in the friend zone, and she will communicate with you until she does not feel better morally. She's not even thinking about having a relationship with you. Now about the main male mistakes in texting with a girl. So the first mistake. It is made by men who use the tactics of correspondence called interview. Look at your and her messages. If the questions are mostly asked only by you, and she only answers them, and quite dryly, then you have serious problems. You might object by saying, if I don't ask her questions, she'll stop writing anything at all. Yes, she will indeed stop writing. But keeping the conversation going by constantly asking the girl questions is not the solution to the problem. After all, the root of the problem lies in her lack of interest in you. So, if you keep communicating with the girl, constantly asking her questions, she will eventually answer you less and less often. Yes, she may correspond like this because she is very busy or just dumb herself. But again, that doesn't justify you being annoying. If she's really busy, let her text when she's free, or exchange short messages, no more than 2 or 3 messages a day. If she's dumb, what's the point of communicating with her at all? After all, when communicating with obtuse people, you degrade. An interesting observation from personal practice. As a rule, a man who uses the tactic of correspondence called interrogation does not pay attention that most of the topics discussed are interesting to her. And the questions sound something like this. How are you at work things? You made up with a friend? How yesterday at the dance went? Accordingly, a man is practically not interested in a girl. If we make an analogy, it's like background music and headphones during sports. You are focused on physical exercise, and you need music only for entertainment. She also needs a man solely as an element of entertainment. If you analyze the hidden meaning of her messages, she keeps the correspondence from boredom or out of politeness, as it is not convenient to ignore a persistent admirer, and in principle she does not care whether the man writes again or not. Often the tactic of conducting correspondence called interrogation is complemented by the second mistake. I call it overload. When the volume of your messages is several times greater than hers. Again, take a close look at what she writes and what you write. If her replies to your gigantic posts are 2 or 3 sentences at most, then obviously her interest is minimal. And if you look at the hidden meaning of your messages, it sounds roughly like this. I need your attention. I love you. But the hidden meaning of her replies, at best, I'm talking to you out of boredom. And at worst, when are you finally going to get off my back? Do you know this tactic? You need to urgently change the format of communication. Otherwise, you risk being blacklisted. Mistake 3. This messaging strategy I called personal clown or love beggar. This is the strategy of chatting many men are advised by psychologists. Example, you have been dumped by your girlfriend or wife. You are depressed, looking for support and seek advice from a female psychologist or a friend who is very fond of giving advice. And she recommends that you send her once a day funny pictures or wish her good morning and good night. When you ask, why is that necessary? She explains, by doing so you show that you are still around, thinking about her, and then she will definitely not forget about you. But as a rule, on such messages a woman either does not answer at all or answers once in a while and one syllable. What do you think is the hidden meaning of her answers? That's right, fuck off. So why should she write if she wants you to fuck off? A lot of men have an argument for that. Then she'll forget me for sure. But this is just good, because she will forget how stupid you behaved and humiliated in her eyes. And only in this way, you can raise your importance in such a situation. Manifestations of the third error. There are many. As a rule, it manifests itself in those situations when you are much more often write to the girl about your feelings. Jealous, asking whether she missed you or not. But I remind you, you can't build a relationship with a woman who doesn't have an instinctive attraction to you, and to a man who is imposing and looks pathetic. No instinctive attraction cannot be in the memory. Fourth mistake. In correspondence, you let her dictate her terms. A simple example. She says that a man should provide a woman care and support. With him, she should feel protected. Seems logical, and you agree with her. But notice, the phrase is built on the principle of a man should. And if you ask her, what does a woman owe? She'll say that a woman doesn't owe anyone anything. And by not paying attention to such points, you breed female promiscuity. And it appears just in those moments when you discuss those topics that you cannot discuss with the first person you meet. For example, some of your small secrets, experiences, or just common interests. You can even fool around and in the postscript to play out the situation, as if she wrote to you, but mistaken number and wrote to his boss and began to correspond with him, thinking that it is you. There are a lot of options. The most important thing is to avoid routine and enjoy communication, not to observe a ritual trying to please her. I believe in your success. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, especially the ones who keep making the same mistakes in texting women time after time. And go on to watch other videos on my channel.